The Book of the Affairs of the Days of the Kings of Judah 1 Kai 15. 7, 23, and the Book of the Affairs of the Days of the Kings of Israel 1 Kai 14. 19. 16. 14. One of the oldest extant Hebrew manuscripts containing the books of Kings in full is dated 1008 CE. The Vatican No. 1209 and the Alexandrine manuscript contain the books of Kings in Greek, but the Sinaitic manuscript does not. Fragments of the books of Kings evidently dating from the BCE period have been found in the Qumran caves. The framework of these books shows that the writer or compiler gave pertinent facts about each king for the purpose of chronology and to reveal God's estimate, favorable or unfavorable, of each king. The relationship of their reigns to the worship of Jehovah stands out as the most important factor. After considering the reign of Solomon, there is, with some exceptions, a general set pattern for describing each reign, as two parallel lines of history are interwoven. For the kings of Judah there is usually given first an introductory synchronism with the contemporaneous king of Israel, then the age of the king, the length of his reign, the place of rule, and the name and home of his mother, the latter being an item of interest and importance, because at least some of the kings of Judah were polygamous. In concluding the account for each king, the source of the information, the burial of the king, and the name of his successor are given. Some of the same details are provided for each king of Israel, but the king's age at the time of his accession and the name and home of his mother are not given. Information supplied in 1st and 2nd Kings has been very useful in the study of Bible chronology. See chronology. The books of Kings are more than just annals or a recital of events as in O textui acute miritra longo. Kings Road 174 ivory that he built 1 car 22. 39, are well attested by the ruins found at Samaria. The Moabite stone relates some of the events involved in King Mesh's revolt against Israel, giving the Moabite monarch's version of what took place. 2 Kai 3. 4, 5 This alphabetic inscription also contains the tetragrammaton. The name Pekah is found in an analytic text credited to Tiglath-Pileser 3. 2 Kai 15. 27 The campaign of Tiglath-Pileser III against Israel is mentioned in his royal annals and in an Assyrian building inscription. 2 Kai 15. 29 The name Hoshi has also been deciphered from inscriptions of Tiglath-Pileser's campaign. 2 Kai 15. 30. Ancient Near Eastern Texts, edited by J. Pritchard, 1974, pages 282-284. While some of Assyrian King Sennacherib's engagements are mentioned in his annals, the angelic destruction of his army of 185,000 when it threatened Jerusalem is not mentioned. 2 Kai 19. 35, and we would not expect to find in his boastful records an account of this overwhelming setback. Notable archaeological confirmation of the last statement in the books of Kings has been found in cuneiform tablets excavated at Babylon. These indicate that Jehoiachin was imprisoned in Babylon and mentioned that he was provided with rations from the royal treasury. 2 Kai 25. 30. Ancient Near Eastern Texts, p. 308. Fulfillments of prophecy. The books of Kings contain various prophecies and point to striking fulfillments. For example, 1 Kings 2. 27 shows the fulfillment of Jehovah's word against the house of Eli. 1 So 2. 31-36. 3. 11-14 prophecies regarding Ahab and his house were fulfilled. Compare 1 Car 21. 19-21 with 1 Car 22. 38 and 2 Kai 10. 17. What was foretold concerning Jezebel and her remains came true. Compare 1 Car 21. 23 with 2 Kai 9. 30-36. And the facts of history confirm the veracity of the prophesied destruction of Jerusalem. 2 Kai 21. 13. Among the many points highlighted in the books of Kings is the importance of adherence to Jehovah's requirements and the dire consequences of ignoring his just laws. The 2 books of Kings forcefully verify the predicted consequences of both obedience and disobedience to Jehovah God. Kings Road. The road from which the Israelites promised not to depart if allowed to pass through Edomite territory and the Amorite realm of King Sihon. New 20. 17. 21. 21, 22. 2. 26, 27. This road must have extended from the Gulf of Aqaba at least as far as the Jabbok, the apparent end boundary of Sihon's territory, and many believe that it ran as far as Damascus and generally corresponded to the paved Roman highway built by Emperor Trajan in the 2nd century CE with the exceptions of needed adjustments for modern traffic. The present-day road called Tariq as-Sultan closely follows the ancient Roman highway, portions of which still exist. Apparently the northern portion of this road from Heshbon to Ashtaroth was called the Way of Bashan. New 21. 33. To 3. 1. Kinsman. See kin, kinsman. Kir. The place from which the Arameans came to Syria, although not necessarily their original home. Am 9. 7. Through his prophet Amos 1. 5. Jehovah indicated that the Arameans would return to Kir, but as exiles. This prophecy was fulfilled when Tiglath-Pileser III, after being bribed by Judean king Ahaz to do so, captured Damascus, the Aramean capital, and led its inhabitants into exile at Kir. 2 Kai 16. 7-9. Isaiah 22. 5, 6 depicts Kir as readying itself against the valley of the vision thought to represent Jerusalem. This prophecy is generally understood to have been fulfilled at the time of Assyrian king Sennacherib's campaign against Judah. Because Kir is associated with Elam in this text, some have suggested that it must have been located in the same general area as Elam, of the Tigris River. Compare Is 21. 2, where Elam's known geographic neighbor Media is similarly coupled with Elam. The Greek Septuagint does not use Kir o textoi acute miritra longo, Kir of Moab 175 mentioned in the prophecies of Jeremiah 48. 1 and Ezekiel 25. 9 is a city of Moab that would experience calamity. Earlier, Moabite king Mesha in the 9th century BCE boasted about building Kiryat and apparently Kiriatayim. Scholars usually situate it in the area near Kiryat, about 10 km 6 mi WNW of Dibon. The remains found there, however, do not date prior to the 1st century BCE, so the exact location is uncertain. 2. A site in Naphtali given to the Levitical Gershonites 1 ch 6. 71, 76 and called Kartan in Joshua 21. 32. See Kartan. Kiriath Arba Kiri Middle Arba a town of Arba. The ancient name for the city of Hebron. The name was even used after the Babylonian exile. In 11. 25 This city, as its name suggests, appears to have been founded by Arba, the great man among the Anakim. Jos 14. 15. See Hebron No. 3. Kiriath Baal Kiri Middle Baal town of Baal. An alternate name for the Judean city of Kiriath Jearim. This place is usually identified with Deir Elazar Tel Koyat Yearim, about 9 km 5.5 ms of Upper Beth Horon. Jos 15. 60. 18. 14. See Kiriath Jearim. Kiriath Huzoth Kiri Middle Huzoth town of streets. A site probably located in Moab somewhere between the torrent valley of Arnon and Bamoth Baal. New 22. 36, 39, 41 Its exact location is today unknown. Kiriath Jearim Kiri Middle Jea Middle Rim town of forests. A Hivite city associated with the Gibeonites Jos 9. 17, also known as Baal Jos 15. 9, Baal Judah 2 6. 2, and Kiriath Baal Jos 15. 60. Kiriath Jearim later came to belong to Judah and bordered on Benjamite territory. Jos 15. 1, 9. 18. 11, 14. JG 18. 12 Apparently descendants of Judah through Caleb settled there. 1 ch 2. 3, 50, 52, 53. In the 12th century BCE, sometime after being returned by the Philistines, the ark was taken to Kiriath Jearim at the request of the men of nearby Beth Shemesh. It apparently remained there until it was moved by King David to Jerusalem some 70 years later. 1 6. 20. 7. 2. 1 ch 13. 5, 6. 16. 1. 2ch1. 4. Jeremiah's contemporary, the prophet Urijah, was the son of Shemaiah of Kiriath Jearim. 26. 20 descendants of those who had lived in the city were also represented among those returning from Babylonian exile. As 2. 1, 2, 25. NE 7. 6, 7, 29. Deir Elazar Tel Koyat Yearim is the place commonly suggested as corresponding to the biblical description of Kiriath Jearim as a city of the Mount Venus region. Jos 15. 48, 60 on the border between Judah and Benjamin in the vicinity of the other Gibeonite cities. This site is strategically situated atop a hill about 14 km 8.5 mi of Beth Shemesh and about 13 km 8 mi WNW of Jerusalem. This location approximately fits Oisbus place in Kiriath Jearim once as 9 Roman miles 13 km. 8 mi and another time as 10 Roman miles 15 km. 9 mi from Jerusalem. Also, the fact that Deir Elazar lies in what at one time seems to have been a well-wooded region accords nicely with the name Kiriath Jearim, town of forests. Kiriath Sana Kiri Middle Sana town of Sana. An alternate name for Dibur, the Judean city assigned to the Aaronic priests, about 13 km 8 mi of Hebron. Jos 15. 49. 21. 13. 15. Some consider Kiriath Sana to be a copyist's error in the spelling of Kiriath Sefer. CD Burno. 2. Kiriath Sefer Kiri Middle for town of the book. The ancient name of Dibur, a priestly city in the territory of Judah, about 13 km 8 mi of Hebron. Jos 15. 15, 16. 21. 13, 15. JG 1. 11, 12. CD Burno. 2. Kir of Moab. An important city of Moab, probably a one-time capital. The Aramaic Targum consistently refers to Kir of Moab, Kir Hareseth, and Kir Hazes Karak, indicating that these are but alternative names for the same place. Kir of Moab is therefore usually identified with modern Karak. Issa 15. 1. This city is situated on a small plateau over 900 meters, 3,000 feet above sea level, and about 35 kilometers 22 Otextoi Acute Miritra Longo, Kish 176 King of Edom, and some suggest that this is alluded to at Amos 2. 1. But this is less likely. Isaiah's prophecy indicated that the Moabites would mourn for Kir Hareseth's raisin cakes, perhaps a principal product of the city's trade. Issa 16. 6, 7. Isaiah also spoke of his being boisterous like a harp over Moab and Kir Hareseth. As the strings of a harp vibrate with sound, so Isaiah's inward parts were moved by the message of woe for Kir Hareseth. Issa 16. 11. See also Job 48. 31, 36. Kish. 1. Amorite Levite who was the son of Mahli and brother of Eleazar. As Eleazar died without sons, having had only daughters, the sons of Kish took these heiresses as wives. One of the sons of Kish was Jerahmeel. 1 ch 23. 21, 22. 24. 29. 2. A Benjamite. The son of Jael and his wife Maacah. 1 ch 8. 29, 30. His brother Ner was the grandfather of Saul, Israel's first king. 1 ch 9. 35-39. Apparently Kish's father Jael was also called Abiel. See Abiel number 1. 3. A Benjamite who was the father of King Saul. 1 14. 51. Act 13. 21. He was a wealthy member of the family of the Madrites. 1 9. 1. 10. 21. This Kish was the son of Ner and grandson of Jael, thus being the nephew of the Kish mentioned above and the brother of Abner. 1 ch 8. 29-33. 9. 35-39. However, 1 Samuel 9. 1 calls him the son of Abiel, apparently using the term son to represent him, not as the immediate son of Abiel Jael, but rather as his grandson. The home of Kish was evidently at Gibeah, in Benjamin 1 10. 26. although his burial place was in Zlo. 2 Sa 21. 14. The only event mentioned in the Bible regarding Kish concerns his sending his son Saul and an attendant out to search for some lost asses. 1 Sa 9. 3, 4. 4. Elvite of King Hezekiah's time. Son of Abdi of the sons of Merari. Kish was one of the Levites who helped to cleanse the temple in the first year of Hezekiah's reign. 2 Ch 29. 1-5, 12-17. 5. A Benjamite ancestor of Esther's cousin Mordecai. As 2. 5-7. Kishi Kushai, shortened form of Kushai. Apparently the same person as the Merarite Levite Kushai, father of the musician Ethan. 1 Ch 6. 19, 44. 15. 17. Kish and Kishai middle. On. A boundary city of Issachar assigned to the Gershonites. Jos 19. 17, 18, 20. 21. 27, 28. Kadesh, found at 1 Chronicles 6. 72, appears to be an alternate name for Kishan. See Kadesh No. 3. Kishan, torrent valley of Kishon. A stream identified as the Nur el-Markat Nehal Kishan. The Kishan winds its way in a northwesterly direction from the hills near Ta'anak through the plain of Jezreel, or Esdrel and Amek Yisrael, and, after flowing through a narrow gorge between Mount Carmel and a spur of the Galilean hills, enters the plain of Akko before finally emptying into the Mediterranean. The airline distance from the Kishan's sources to its mouth at the Bay of Akko is about 37 kilometers 23 mi. Approximately 6 meters 20 feet wide in the spring, the portion of the Kishan flowing through the plain of Jezreel increases in width by some 3 meters 10 feet in the western section of the plain. The Kishan's greatest width of about 20 meters 66 feet is reached in the plain of Akko. With the exception of about the last 10 kilometers 6 mi of its course, the Kishan is usually dry during the summer. But in the rainy season it becomes a rushing torrent, flooding its banks and sweeping everything in its path. The plain through which the Kishan flows then becomes a marshy region. In the time of Barak and Deborah, the torrent valley of Kishan figured in the deliverance of the Israelites from Canaanite oppression. Barak and his troops took a position on Mount Tabor, this action drawing army chief Sisera, with his well-equipped forces and 900 chariots, to the Kishan. JG 4. 6, 7, 12, 13. The Israelites appeared to be at a military disadvantage. Yet, when directed to do so, Barak and his 10,000 men descended from Mount Tabor to engage the enemy in battle. Jehovah God then intervened. From Otex to Acute Miritra Longo, Kite 177 later, during the reign of Israel's king Ahab, the prophet Elijah slaughtered 450 prophets of Baal at the torrent valley of Kishan. 1 Kai 18. 22, 40. The waters of Megiddo JG 5. 19 and the torrent valley that is in front of Jokneam Jos 19. 11 are considered to be the Kishan. Kiss. In biblical times the act of kissing or touching one's lips to those of another PR 24. 26, to another person's cheek, or, in an exceptional case, even to his feet. 7. 37, 38, 44, 45, served as a token of affection or respect. Kissing was common not only between male and female relatives. GE 29. 11. 31. 28 but also between male relatives. GE 27. 26, 27. 45. 15. X 18. 7. 2 So 14. 33 It was likewise a gesture of affection between close friends. 1 So 20. 41, 42. 2 So 19. 39. Kissing might accompany a blessing. GE 31. 55 Aged Israel, or Jacob, kissed and embraced Joseph's sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, before blessing their father and them. GE 48. 8-20 When the patriarch later finished giving commands to his 12 sons he expired, and Joseph fell upon the face of his father and burst into tears over him and kissed him. GE 49. 33. 50. 1 Samuel kissed Saul when anointing him as Israel's first king. 1 Saw 10. 1. A fond greeting included kissing, perhaps accompanied by weeping and embracing. GE 33. For the father of the returning prodigal of Jesus Christ's illustration fell upon his son's neck and tenderly kissed him. Luke 15. 20 Kissing also went with a loving farewell. GE 31. 55. Ru 1. 9, 14 When the Apostle Paul was about to depart from Miletus, the older men of the Ephesian congregation were so moved that they wept and fell upon Paul's neck and tenderly kissed him. Act 20. 17, 37. The Bible makes brief reference to kisses associated with love between the sexes. 1. 2. 8. 1 In giving advice to guard against the devices of a wicked woman, the book of Proverbs warns of the seductive kiss of a prostitute. PR 7. 13. Kisses could be hypocritical. Absalom, shrewdly seeking power, kissed men who drew near to bow down to him. 2 Saw 15. 5, 6 Treacherous Joab's kiss meant death to unsuspecting Amasa. 2 Saw 20. 9, 10 Also, it was with a deceitful kiss that Judas Iscariot betrayed Jesus Christ. Mount 26. 48, 49. Mr. 14. 44, 45. False worship. Kissing as an act of adoration towards false gods was forbidden by Jehovah, who mentions 7,000 men who did not bend the knee to Baal and kiss him. 1 Kai 19. 18 Ephraim was reproved for making idols and saying, "Let the sacrificers who are men kiss me calves." Ho 13. 1-3 The Greeks and Romans had the practice of throwing a kiss with the hand to their idols, if these were inaccessible, and in this way they also greeted the rising sun. Job 31. The 27th of May allude to a similar idolatrous practice. The Holy Kiss. Among early Christians there was the Holy Kiss. Row 16. 16. 1 Co 16. 20. 2 Co 13. 12. 1 Th 5. 26 Or Kiss of Love 1 Pe 5. 14. Possibly bestowed on individuals of the same sex. This early Christian form of greeting may correspond to the ancient Hebrew practice of greeting one with a kiss. Though the scriptures provide no details, the Holy Kiss or Kiss of Love evidently reflected the wholesome love and unity prevailing in the Christian congregation. Job 13. 34, 35. Figurative use. Kissing, as representing a demonstration of respect and devotion, is mentioned in the inspired advice to serve Jehovah with fear and kiss the Son, that he may not become incensed and you may not perish from the way. PS2. 11. 12 Persons responding favorably and submitting to the one God appoints as king, and his kingdom will realize great blessings when it can be said. Righteousness and peace. They have kissed each other, because the connection of the two will be as evident to all as is the close association of affectionate friends. PS 85. 10. Kite Heb. I middle dot ya, black kite. Da middle dot red kite. And perhaps di middle dot ya, gold, likely a variety of kite. Theotextoi acute miritra longo, Kitrin 178 Job uses the black kite as an example of superior sharp-sightedness, while showing that man's ingenuity and his search for wealth lead him into underground paths that even the far-seeing birds of prey cannot see. Job 28.